Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, trapping cats. How Cat Depot's community cat program is helping keep free-roaming cat populations in check while making sure these felines are healthy and vaccinated. Our Inspector Planet is in the lab to explain why a little knock doesn't sound so little to those inside the tank. And
right here we have a little raccoon track.
What's in your backyard? We head out on foot to check out what interesting critters we can find. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. It's a common animal. In fact, it's one of the top pets in America, cats. But we aren't talking about domestic cats. We're talking about cats that spend their time outdoors. Cody, it's so good to be with you again here at beautiful Cat Depot.
Yeah.
And we're so proud that we have an organization like this here within the Sarasota Manatee areas.
Yeah.
But you do so many wonderful things, and one of them is a feral cat program.
Yeah.
But I want you to define, what is the difference between a stray and a feral?
Well, they're all community cats, meaning they're all cats that live outdoors in our communities. Feral cats are wild cats, never been domesticated, never been touched by a human, no different than a raccoon, essentially. Stray cats are cats that were pets, they're socialized, but now they're out on the street for whatever reason. And then you have the in-betweeners. They've never lived indoors, but they're used to people, they get fed by people, but they're not suited for indoor life.
So does a stray come from a feral or vice versa? Or can they intermingle?
So they can intermingle, yeah. So strays have usually been indoors with people, well domesticated, so they can actually become feral if they're left outside for too long. They can kind of revert. Same with ferals. Ferals can be outside, not be domesticated, but then they can slowly get used to people, and sometimes eventually people take them in their homes, and then they can become domesticated, so they can flow back and forth.
Feral cats, we see them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But can they really survive
Absolutely.
on their own?
Yeah. Up until the 1970s, cats lived outside. Kitty litter wasn't invented until the 1970s, so they've only recently become domesticated and fully indoor pets. So a lot of these cats that have lived outside, they're generations of living outside. They are capable of surviving.
We always hear cats are aloof.
Yeah.
Are they really? I don't see it in some of the feral cats that we have come into contact with.
Well, that's because they're not truly feral. So they're those in-betweeners. They're the semi-social community cats, and that's the term that we prefer to use because it's an umbrella term. So they can become friendly to people. They can learn to trust their caregivers, and they'll come up for petting, and they know feeding time. They'll come when they're called. So yeah, they're not all aloof, but the truly feral ones, those are the ones that aren't going to come anywhere near people. This is our trap. This is what we use to catch feral cats when you're either bringing them in for the trap neuter release program, or if they're injured, you need to get them medical care. This is what we use. This is the safest way to get feral cats. You don't want to try to grab them with your hands. So these are really easy to set up. If you ever need to borrow one, we do have a rental program available, and we'll show you how to use it. Quick, down and dirty. Basically, you lift up. You're going to put food in there. The smellier, the better. KFC fried chicken works great too. Goes in like that. That's the set door. Keep that locked. And then on this end, we just lift it up. We got a little lever here. Props it open. And so the cat will smell the food, want to get to it, but can't get to it. It'll go in this end, and then they walk over, they step on the little trip plate, and the door closes right behind them, and you've got yourself a feral cat. And we cover them up just to keep them calm, and then you're ready to go. Our community cat program, it's not just for when they get sick, it's preventative care as well. So we are really into what's called TNVR, trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. So that's getting these cats spayed and neutered, getting them vaccinated for rabies and distemper, so that they can have a healthy start and they can be out there without reproducing too much, because we do know that it is very easily for these cats to reproduce too much and then we have too many. So we don't want that to happen either. So controlled management of your population that you're feeding, the community cats that you have, also known as a colony, when you have a group of cats that you're feeding outside. And then if they do get sick, we do have funding available to help cover the cost of getting them cared for. It is limited what you can do with a feral cat. If it is a feral cat that's really wild and can't be handled, sometimes things happen. You know, we can only do so much for them, but we will try to do whatever we can to help them.
So we see over 1,000 community cats a year here at Cat Depot. From here, they'll get spayed and neutered, get whatever medical care they need, and then go back out to their community homes.
Now, when you return them, do you return them to the place that they were trapped, or do you find another home for them?
Absolutely. So the goal is always to return them where they came from. That is their home, where the community where they came from. That's where they've grown up. That is their life right there. So we don't want to take that away from them. We do have a program with Animal Services right now for cats that have been deemed nuisances, that are causing problems, that can't go back. And rather than the possibility of euthanasia, we do work with them to find barn placement for them. So it gives the cats a second chance, and it helps out people that do need cats at their barns for rodent control, things like that. So it's a win-win for everybody in that situation.
There is likely a community cat program similar to the one Cat Depot has in place in your hometown. Many vet offices and adoption agencies have programs designed to help these felines live healthier lives by getting them vaccinated, fixed, and placing them back into their outdoor home. Coming up next on Animal Outtakes.
Hey guys! Hey, come here!
We see them behind the glass, and to get their attention, all we need to do is tap, right? Our Inspector Planet shows us how a little knock can sound much bigger underwater. That's next.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Every dog deserves a lifelong, loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call us at 941-219-3730. Dante's Den, continuing the love. Science is everywhere, and it's all around us. It's observing the world, forming questions, and the willingness to find the answers. It's something our Inspector Planet does every day, and you can too.
My name is Dr. Tracy Fanara, research scientist and environmental engineer. At Moat Marine Laboratory, I use investigation and experimentation to answer questions. They say we're not supposed to tap on the glass, but how else am I supposed to get their attention? Why can we not tap on the glass? Now we're look back at the lab and we want to know how sound waves travel through air and water. So sound waves, we know that they need particles in order to make a sound. That's basically what happens, is that a sound makes particles in the air vibrate that then transfers to the next particle and the next particle. That's why in outer space we don't have any sound, because it's basically a vacuum. Sound needs something to move through. So say this little jar represents a particle. For example, sound transmits in waves. So it causes one particle to vibrate that causes the next one and the next one and the next one. So let's say air. Air is much less dense than water. So let's give from point A to point B, let's say there are 3 particles. So a sound wave is coming, and basically this is how it's going to travel. Now, say in that same distance, we have water. Now, water is much more dense, in fact, 800 times more dense. But for these purposes, let's say that in that same distance, we have 5, just to show you the difference. So now we have a sound wave traveling here. Now these particles are much closer together, so let's see what happens. Did you see how quickly it went from point A to point B? That energy transfer was so quick. In fact, that energy transfer is about 5 times as fast. Noise through water is over 4 times the speed of sound through air. So now we know why we don't tap on glass. It's way louder for the animals inside than it is for us on the outside. So no tapping on glass. Come on guys, play a little hard to get. Let them come to you. Remember guys, anyone can be a scientist or an engineer with some passion, hard work, and innate curiosity of how the world works.
Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, what's in your backyard? We're exploring what interesting animals we can find when we stop and just slow down for a moment and take a look around.
Right here we have a little raccoon track. And that raccoon is probably out here eating some of those fiddler crabs that we saw.
I am certified in acupressure and I use my hands. And I use my hands on the same points that the needles get inserted, but I use the stimulus of my hand, rubbing, pressing, just holding.
tiny creatures to big predators, chances are your backyard is filled with interesting animals. And sometimes it's the ones that are often overlooked that are the most fascinating.
You can find wildlife everywhere, whether you're in your backyard or the local park. There are animals to be seen. And sometimes you just need to follow those little clues like a hole in the dirt or a ripple in the water to find things that you didn't know were there before. Right here we have a little raccoon track. And that raccoon is probably out here eating some of those fiddler crabs that we saw. Maybe eating larger bugs that might be in this area, or any small little things that can get its paws on. So this is the American horseshoe crab. There are 4 species of horseshoe crab across the globe. The American horseshoe crab is a lot cooler to see when it's alive. We have found while picking up some trash that there are some dead animals around here. We're not quite sure what's going on. It could be poor water quality. It could be just a common end cycle of their life. But these crabs are not fully grown. When they're fully grown, they'll be up to 18 inches long, and these animals can live up to 20 years. So whenever you're out in your backyard or out at a local park, you may find things that you don't expect, but what you find also might help you to figure out good questions to ask, and science is all about what questions we can ask and hopefully find answers to. Horseshoe crabs have been around for over 400 million years. And actually, the horseshoe crab is not a crab. It is related to spiders and scorpions. Crabs have 4 sets of legs. These animals are going to have 10 sets of legs, which helps in their classification. You see how easy it is to pick stuff up? I've walked 20 feet and found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of trash. It's just really easy to go out there and pick something up. You don't have to clean it all up. It's not all up to you. You don't have to feel that type of burden. But if you can just pick up a few pieces of trash a day, it does make a huge difference. Along with all the animals and plants that you might find in your backyard, you might also find trash. Trash, like plastics, are often found where wildlife live, and they can mistake it for the things that they normally eat. So Take 3 for the Sea is a worldwide hashtag going around so that we can help save these animals and prevent them from eating it on accident. Take 3 for the Sea means picking up 3 pieces of trash on a daily basis. And working as a team, we can help clean up our environment and prevent these animals from getting hurt because of our mistakes with our trash. That's Take 3 for the Sea. Take 3 for the Sea. Take 3 for the Sea.
And she's listening. You can see like her ears she's paying attention. Hi, my name's Eileen Coe. I'm a equine body worker. I'm certified in equine acupressure. And acupressure, some people haven't heard of it, but it's instead of using needles, which is acupuncture, and you have to be a vet to do that, I'm certified in acupressure and I use my hands. And I use my hands on the same points that the needles get inserted, but I use the stimulus of my hand, rubbing, pressing, just holding. And it brings the awareness to the horse of areas of their body where they might be holding tension, or they might be sore, have inflammation. On Poco here, she has, if you look at her back leg here, and you can see how it's almost touching the ground, it's not supposed to look like that. Now that's a degenerative type arthritic condition where that part of the body, the tendons and everything are just sort of stretched. So she's not rideable, but she's certainly happy and she's a healthy girl, and she'll live out the rest of her days here. So by doing some acupressure and body work on her, I can help her kind of feel the best she can feel with what she has. I love coming out here to the rescue and helping these horses feel the best they can feel. And you know, the volunteers, everybody takes such good care of them, so we want to keep them nice and balanced and as healthy as they can be.
Stay with us. There's more Animal Outtakes coming up next. How do we keep him going? Because some days are very, very painful for him. Every dog deserves a lifelong, loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. We ensure every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Prospective pet parents undergo a thorough adoption review to ensure a lifetime of love and care. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call us at 941-219-3730. Dante's Den, continuing the love. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. Well, we have Joey here, Dr. Greiner.
Hey, Joey.
He is just so
Good
precious.
boy.
He's about 12 years old now. And we watch his weight very carefully, but it's an ongoing daily thing. How do we keep him slim?
The same as with the person, diet and exercise. If you need to lose weight, you have got to burn up more calories than you are consuming. And so just dieting alone typically is not the answer, because when you decrease the number of calories you're taking in, your body says, whoa, this may be the big potato famine. And so your resting metabolism will slow down on you. So you've got to eat moderate restriction on your calories, but burn more calories. And moving, any kind of moving will help. Fidgeters lose weight better than non-fidgeters. Because
I fidget well.
Because you're moving.
But you know, Joey is also showing signs of arthritis, and you would figure that with these little short legs with this body. And how do we keep him going? Because some days are very, very painful for him.
Again, just like a person, we have a lot of nutritional supplements that can really help with their arthritis. You have to be a little bit careful with some of them, particularly the oil supplements, because those are calories, and so you may gain more weight with them. You can also have some intestinal problems with all the fish oil products. And nobody likes the smell of their breath or the other end when they're on fish oil. But for short-term use, the non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs are wonderful. Just again, like a person, you need to take them with food so it's easier on your stomach. And if you're going to be on them really long-term, you really need to keep an eye on your liver and kidney values because they're not gentle on your organs.
Now, food. He's been on a particular food for probably the last 3 years that he's been here. But we wonder if that food is really nutritionally, if that food is really working well for him as he gets older. We don't want him to gain weight. We watch him very, very carefully, but we do see him go up and down and up and down.
And probably more importantly, to consider as they get older, they are not exercising as vigorously as they did when they were young. And so you don't need anywhere near as much protein in your diet to rebuild your muscle tissue. And we know that when you take in excess protein, your body just burns it for energy, and that generates waste products that are worked on by your liver and then out through your kidneys. So the senior diets are lower in protein. They're also a little bit lower in energy because they're not exercising as much, a little bit higher in fiber to keep their bowels regular. And so we now have life stage diets from puppyhood on up to old age, and then we have a whole list of diets that are specific for different illnesses.
Now he eats twice a day and he looks forward to his dinners and his breakfasts. Should we cut him back to once a day?
No, absolutely not. That's what he is accustomed to, and a big change like that, he will make you pay. He will be begging constantly in the evening. There are two types of feeders, the free-range grazers that don't overeat and will just kind of nibble all day long. That's actually the ideal way to eat, little bits at a time. Most dogs are not like that. They're on seafood diets. They see food, they eat it. And so you need to actually watch their weight. Everybody gets a body score. Every physical exam I do a scale of 1 to 9. 5 is great, 9 is you're morbidly obese, and 1 is like you're dying of cancer. And he's actually not bad. But you're about a 5.5
So
or 6.
he's doing
You're right
well,
in there.
huh?
Yeah, they're keeping an eye on you, my friend.
Okay, Joey, keep eating.
He says, I'm starving. You poor guy. Thanks, Joey.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching. The cat program is helping keep kisses. Okay, let's try this again.